Welcome, one and all, to another episode of Video Store Memoirs. I'm your host, Kevin Salina. I must apologize as a avid nerd and proclaim this a lot on this show that I did not realize today was Batman Day. I feel ashamed, but I'm going to make up for it right now. I'm going to quickly go through things that I love about The Dark Knight ever since his introduction back in 1939. It is 85 years this man has been inundating us with stories, movies, comics, film, TV, A-Track, who cares? I mean, any and all things, CD-ROM, video games. But anyway, let's get started with some of the things that I've personally absolutely love when it comes to dealing with the Dark Knight. Right off the bat, the heroes that it's created. Uh, Everyone knows everything about Batman himself, but his Bat family, as it were, all the Robins, Nightwing, Batgirl, Huntress, Red Hood, Azrael, Cassandra Cain, Batwoman, Oracle, all these people who buy into the code that Bruce Wayne lives by and wants to fight the good fight. And each one of them are astounding heroes in their own right. And some of them have some great comic book series. I highly suggest checking those out. And then there's the opposite side of it. When you think Batman, hell, when you think Batman, Superman, Spider Man, you're always thinking about their rogues gallery. I think Batman has one of the best rogues galleries of all time. They test him physically, they test him mentally. It's really crazy, especially some of the storylines that we get from this. I mean, just off the top of my head, besides all the mobsters he's trying to take down to protect the city, you have Mr. Freeze, Riddler, Hush, Penguin, Poison Ivy, Scarecrow, Harley Quinn, Joe Chill, who is very underrated as a villain when it comes to his story. You should really look into some of the backstory that they've brought out over the years having to do with Joe Chill being the person who I think is the one who truly made Batman the way he is today. Bane, and ultimately the Joker. That's it. Hands down, arch nemesis supreme. The man gives you a chill in a way that there is no coming back from. Um, then you're gonna. What really drew me into Batman the first time ever, it wasn't even really the comics. I was never truly, when I was young, a avid comic reader. I didn't deep dive into it as much as I did until Batman the Animated Series. That TV show locked me in as a DC comic fan for life. I, Watching that show after school, these people can say they're episodes. These were mini movies. They were great storyline, great detective stories, led by the phenomenal, may he rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. I have a picture of him. You probably see it on, if you're watching this on YouTube or anything. Anyone else, you can check it out on our website. Then when it comes to live action stories for, like, I'd say in the movies, everyone seems to have their favorite when it comes to Michael Keaton. Some people like Val Kilmer as Batman Best and Batman Forever. Me personally, Christian Bale and Chris Nolan gave me my favorite Batman movie all time, Batman Begins. I know everybody's going to like, wait a minute, what about The Dark Knight? Dark Knight, excellent sequel, phenomenal movie. Heath Ledger cemented himself as the Joker nobody knew that they actually needed. But as an origin story, Batman Begins checks every possible box, especially when you consider the cast that they put together with Christian Bale, Liam Neeson, Cillian Murphy, and Gary Oldman, and Katie Holmes. Phenomenal movie. I can watch it forever on repeat and never get bored. Yes, I just said that. If we go into the comic side of Batman, there's so many storylines. Everyone loves, like, the Dark Knight Rises. There's, like, the original comic book strip from back in 1939 of Batman and seeing his beginnings. For me, the all-time favorite comic book storyline is Batman Hush. This is a 12-part series written by Jeff Loeb and artwork by Jim Lee. It is such a compelling story. It brings in the entire Rogues Gallery. It's a true detective story. It's got its great action on from page to page, but the mystery of who Hush is what really drives this story home. And you think you figured this out every single episode or comic, as it were, of this series, and you're wrong every time. It's just so well written. Um, then we go into a totally different idea here. Video games like always try to capitalize on different things of the time. They've tried to do Superman video games. They've tried to do they have successfully done Spider-Man games, and they tried to do Batman games. They're based on like Batman the Animated Series, and maybe when Batman Begins came out, there was that one too, I think, for the original Xbox. But none of them really drove home the idea of being the Batman until the Batman Arkham series. I have never enjoyed a series so well, which I think it's more because, once again, story was great. The voice acting was fantastic because they got Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill to play the Joker, and all these other great voice actors to do some of these amazing work on this story. But the control, you fully get to control everything and anything that has to do with Batman. It's not just a walk through and punch here and there. You actually have to be a detective, or you're not going to get anywhere in this game. It top notch. Try them all. They're especially Arkham Knight, because you actually get to drive the Batmobile. That's worth it in its own. Then there's two more things I'm gonna talk. I've gone on my nerd rant here. First off, Batman the Animated Series also I truly love because it also sparked one of the best spin-offs in the Batman series. Everyone usually is like, "Oh, you mean Justice League or anything like that?" I'm like, "No, not those. Those shows are great. It's fantastic, but for me, it's Batman Beyond." Watching a whole series about Bruce Wayne actually having to be the man in the chair to his partner Terry McGinnis, who takes up the mantle of Batman, but still has Bruce helping him every step of the way. And like I said, they are partners. This is not just one of those Robin situations. Terry McGinnis is the only person who can really call himself Batman. It also, at the peak of this TV series, they came out with a straight-to-DVD movie called Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. Hands down, one of the greatest animated movies I've ever seen. If you watch it, make sure you watch the unrated version, because they go for it. They go for the jugular. You will get emotional watching this movie. It's very rare watching something having to do with Batman beating up a bunch of people and then you get the feels. So go for it if you're gonna try that version. Last but not least, as I've said before, Batman Hush is one of my favorite storylines in the comics. But the comic that actually really got me going on the whole Batman train is actually one of his team-up series. World's Finest, I believe, was a damn masterstroke. Once again, Jeff Loeb wrote several of these books where Batman, Superman team up to save the world, work together to solve crimes, and it's the interesting dynamic between Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne. Both of them, pretty headstrong, figure they can do everything on their own, but when they realize you can't always do it on your own, and their partnership just evolves and grows in such a fantastic way. It's It actually sparked a couple of DC animated movies. If you get the chance, check it out. Two of them I would highly recommend is Batman: Public Enemies, and also Batman Superman: Public Enemies and Apocalypse. It is they're really well done, fantastic adaptations. It doesn't feel rushed compared to the original comic book stories. I highly recommend it. But then that's my job to give you guys good ideas of movies to watch. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. But I think I've talked enough. You can tell I'm a fan of Batman. I know there's plenty of you out there who are fans of Batman. So get out there, do what you do. Don't try and use any grappling hooks. I don't want to hear anything about you guys hurting yourselves and then blaming me for it. So, but anyway, like I said, thank you as always for checking in with me, checking in with us here at Video Store Memoirs. We got more reviews coming for you all the time. If you're looking for us anywhere, check us out on social media. But long live the Batman. You guys have a good one. Take care.